whatever, something words. I'm starting the game. Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we are watching game number 2 from this Chinese tournament that I can't read the name of. I'm sorry. And I have no idea what the format is, so best of 3, best of 5. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, right. We are going to introduce our players. On the right side of the map, we have the Red Undead. He hails from China. His name is... Hold on. He hails from China. His name is WFZ. In the trees. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's the SC2 influence. The map is, of course, Echo Isles, and on the left side of it, we're going to see the other player. He is the purple human. Game number 2, player number 2. His name is Thu. He's going Mountain King first, which is actually excellent on Echo Isles. Really very good to have it. This is a map where there's a lot of engagements pretty much the whole game long, and the undead wants to harass really badly early on. And the Mountain King does a great job against that because he has Bolt and he can surround you with footmen and militia, and you're just totally out of luck if that happens. You just have to TP or something. You have to play very carefully. So it does a big effect on the harass. It doesn't shut it down completely, but it does do a big thing to it. Are we going to see another Lich first? That would be interesting. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to see a Ted Fiends build, a fairly conservative build. Got the Acolyte for scouts information, all the good stuff that you need. And the footman coming down, he's looking to see if there's an acolyte, because a lot of times there's an acolyte comes over here, hides down here, relatively hides, you know. And then as the human goes to creep this, he comes up the acolyte, and then he purchases the shadow, whatever, before the guy can purchase it. And the humans are like, no, that was mine. Not really as big of a deal if you go Mountain King first, in my opinion, but it's good to go ahead, because that's 25 free XP, which you could definitely use. About to lose that Forest Troll Shadow Priest. Doesn't want that to happen. And the reason, and I should probably say, the reason why it's not that big of a deal is because you do want it. You want the Shadow Priest as with the Mountain King without a doubt, because you take a lot of damage because you don't have the Water Elemental to tank. But the reason I think it's not as big of a deal is because, one, you're definitely going to kill the Acolyte, and two, with the Bolt, you're definitely going to kill the Shadow Priest, whereas it normally gets away if it's Archmage first, which then it's used to like dispel your water elementals, and it's really bad for you, so you don't want that. But yeah, you do like having it. It's really good to have. Down here, we're going to see the Death Knight going for the Murloc Nightcrawler, which drops a tome, potentially a tome of XP, so that's why he's going for it most likely. I'm going to pick it up. Strength tome, not bad. Could finish the rest of the creep, may as well. He's got plenty of skeletals to do it, and he can't really do any kind of harass to this without just risking needlessly losing his Death Knight. He is going for the tech here, and he's going for 5 ghouls, I believe, most likely. That's what you tend to go for, is 5 ghouls into tech. You don't like... some people will go for the early fiends against Mountain King, but that's really difficult to do. It's really hard to play that strategy. And the reason that it's really hard, also a really nice move he just did, you might not have caught it, but he just actually woke these creeps up. Now this is important, he's going to do it again here in just a second. He's going to wait. What he's doing is he's waiting for Bloodlust to finish, the cooldown for Bloodlust. You already have one Bloodlusted dude, you wake it up again, you get a second Bloodlusted dude, and then when the human comes to creep it, you're harassing, and it's like, oh shit, everything's Bloodlusted. And it does a lot of damage, and this lasts for quite a while, so it's pretty cool. Here comes the Creepjack. He's not going to actually get time to... Maybe that was just a scout, I don't know. But either way, having 2 of those Forest Troll Trappers Bloodlusted, it's going to do a lot more damage to you than otherwise, and actually, seeing as the Undead is backed off, maybe I was wrong about him trying to harass, but that's okay. So this Bloodlust doesn't do a whole lot, but it is going to, you know, take some mana, so... You know, take some time, take some mana. Level 3 on the Mountain King, he's going to run across the map. He does have a pair up to Vitality as well as a Ring of Protection +2, so he's pretty tanking. I would expect him to sell one or both of those. Other items are better. Boots of Speed is better. Staff of Teleportation is better. Could use both. He's going to have the staff. Where is he TPing to? No one knows. It's going to be over here. There's a footman. He's going straight for the Death Knight. He wants to surround it with the creeps, I think. No, he just wants to get in front of it. He wants to kill it, and he can kill it, undeniably. And he's not going to kill it because the Death Knight got away, but he can definitely kill a bunch of ghouls. 2 bashes on that ghoul, spells its fate. You can't get away. He might have been able to get away or force a bolt. He might still be able to force a bolt, actually. Forcing a bolt on like a 4 HP ghoul, that's pretty okay. There's nothing really wrong with that. He did lose a lot of those ghouls. Will he remake them? Potentially he might. Who knows? Probably not. But it's not... it's not a bad idea to have ghouls. It gives you some options because it gives you a lot more wood, and also fighting with them is pretty okay because there's no water elementals that just rain hell down on them. And if he bolts them, that's 75 mana for each one, which hurts him quite a bit because it means he's not bolting things like your Death Knight. Which I would absolutely much prefer him to bolt my 120 gold ghoul compared to my incredibly precious that holds everything together Death Knight. That's a central unit that actually does like most of my damage with coil nukes and also healing and all that fantastic stuff, and provides an aura of speed and regeneration that makes everything come together so nice. Don't bolt the Death Knight. Don't do it. It's messed up. It's messed up. And the Mountain King running across the map, he does have boots of speed, so he is actually intending to try to kill it. He may not be able to, but he has enough mana for a couple bolts, so he might come in here and go for the Acolytes as well, just if the Undead's not around. If the Undead is around, just bolt the Death Knight again, who knows. There isn't a Slaughterhouse up just yet. It's going to be soon finished, but it's not yet. And then I'll have some statues out so we can actually start getting some healing, which is good. You can just see the threat of the Mountain King, which is actually just up here, killing a ogre for the item, and he's going to TP down here. This Staff of Teleportation being used absolutely phenomenally well. And you can keep using that all game pretty well. It's a really solid item whenever you have a hero that stands so strongly on its own. You always have to be careful not to play too aggressively and lose something like that. But against this sort of army, unless he picks up a Naga third, which he probably won't, he's, you know, or a Dreadlord. Those are really the only two things he has. A Crypt Lord, maybe, you know, maybe you have to be a little bit, because of the Impale. The Dreadlord can sleep you and the Naga can slow you. The Naga are probably the largest threat, but the reason you don't go for the Naga is because, one, it's not that great of a hero when it can get nuked down to all craziness. It could be okay with some anti-magic shell. We've seen that before. Could definitely be okay. Hard to play that, but, you know, it could be okay, because you don't have any healing at all for the Naga. So that's, you know, you definitely are expecting to see a Temple of the Damned at some point, because Mountain King first, you gotta have a way to negate the bolts. Got to. Frost Armor is really, really strong. It's incredibly good against Mountain King first with the Footmen, because mainly because they go for the bolt surround, and if you just surround a unit that has frost shield on it and gets death coiled or something, one, it takes really long to kill it, two, you're going to lose a lot of units because you can't micro away because everything's so slow. So these are good things to have, general good things. Over here, are we going to see, it looks like it's going to be a wagon push. Not a bad idea. I like wagon push. If you know me, you know I like wagon push. I like to watch it. It's fun and it's effective. It's especially effective against the Mountain King, I think. Because again, you don't have, with the Mountain King, to fight, right? You have to kind of get up in their grill. You have to do a lot of damage. You have to be in melee range, etc. And these things, when you're wagon pushing, you're in a very defensive position as the Undead, I would say, which means getting into melee range, doing a bunch of up close and personal damage. It's not easy, and you're probably going to lose those fights. If like the efficiency winning is probably going to go over to the Undead, which is what he wants during a wagon fight, or rather a wagon push. The big question is if the human player can get their tech out in time against a wagon push. I have no idea. He is just now teching. He's only not even halfway through. He's getting the blacksmith up, and there's not really a lot of defense here. It's a good idea to go for the keep here once again. Militia help quite a bit. Militia are really, really good with the Mountain King when you're fighting a wagon push, because obviously, like we said, you want to overwhelm them with the melee. You just want to like get all up in their grill and outposition them and stuff, and surround everything so they can't micro, and then have so many targets being attacked at once that they can't just death coil and frost armor like one guy repeatedly and just totally screw you over. So that's why keep can make militia at this location, because otherwise, without, you know, upgrading that, it can't make militia at this location because it's just an expansion town hall, which doesn't get the militia ability, which is kind of cool. Almost getting this round on that Crypt Fiend, not quite managing it, and it's got frost armor, so that's pretty good. The militia are coming down here. In this case, they're just going to be used for delaying a little bit. I think he was hoping more to get the sandwich. If he had gotten the sandwich, would have been really bad for the Undead. But this is a wagon push potentially with a ziggurat or maybe a shop or something. He's got a blight skull and he's got an acolyte. He's gonna have to do something with that before it gets bolted, though. Because if that thing gets bolted, it's dead. There's not really a lot of different stuff going on there. And this is going to be a really strong wagon push, because as you can see, all those things that were militia are now peasants. They can't go into militia form until this becomes a keep. They're going to kind of surround this thing a little bit with repairs, and then they can start going ahead and doing the militia thing once it finishes here in just a second. One fiend already going down because it did get bolted, and it tried to burrow, but it did use one of the dust charges. good to do that. If you can waste those dusts, then that means you have basically the ability to start burrowing, which is pretty great. This is a really good positioning for the undead WFZ here. Absolutely wonderful. I'm going to see some slaughter on the Death Knight, but here come those militia. They may be able to turn this around. A Potion of Lesser Invulnerability being used on the Death Knight, and we're going to see the human player kind of gaining some ground here. Lich starting to take some serious damage, but he will get death coiled. We should see a burrow on this fiend here in just a little bit, maybe to force out the other dust. And that's going to happen. He might even be able to save that one, which would be really fantastic. He could easily save it if he just moves it back right now. Just a little bit of micro could have easily saved that one, but whatever. I'm not going to even say anything about it. The Acolyte does end up being bolted. You know, here's one of the things that I kind of like about that. It could be considered mind games. If you're just for 50 gold and an Acolyte, you can tank a bolt. I mean, that's fantastic. You can keep sending one Acolyte down here at a time, build nothing, and just keep tanking bolts because it's a big threat. I mean, maybe you're not intending to build a single tower for quite a while. Who knows? He might not keep sending. I mean, eventually the human would probably get wise to it, and then you could actually say, well, I've got free reign to build towers or something like that. But this is going exceptionally well for WFZ here. I mean, Thu is pretty much out of steam right now. He doesn't have much of anything. He's got a clarity on the Mountain King. Has a second clarity. He's got the ability to do some bolts, but bolts by themselves don't do anything, and there's not really a lot of units here. There's such a late tech coming out of Thu. Gonna see the Death Coil not quite reach that fiend in time, but all these militia, they're very low on life. We could easily see like a little bit of focus fire here, taking those guys down. Not gonna happen. Gonna see some of these mercenaries bring in, but again, it looks like it's gonna be too little too late. I mean, this is this town hall, or I'm sorry, this keep, this is his tech too. If he loses this, he's in serious trouble. And normally, you know, you get a couple of arcane sanctums up, you can start building spellbreakers to kind of fight this, which is your goal with the Mountain King. But there's so many fiends, and there's 3 wagons, and that's all you need. And if he, it would be brilliant if he was going for +1 attack upgrade on those wagons, because then he could really easily out repair any repairing with 3 wagons. 3 wagons with +1 attack will absolutely decimate a keep, like just kill it. We're gonna maybe see him go. He's going for the creep. He's got the blood mage out. He passes the staff over here, and he's gonna try to hold this off, I guess. I don't know. Picks up a scroll of town portal. Picks up a scroll of regeneration. And he's town portaling away with his peasants. That is a sign of desperation if I have ever seen one. Wow. He bought a town portal to save like 5 peasants. He's got plenty of gold. He doesn't have a lot of wood, so I can see where he's coming from, getting the Arcane Sanctum up in the Arcane Vault. He's only going to get 1 even because he's not going to have the economy to make multiple ones. He's going to have to play this in the way where he's doing Banished Bolts really, really well. He has a level 5 Mountain King, and he's got kind of crazy amount of armor here. +7 armor with 3 rings, 1 +3 and 2 +2s, and boots of speed. So he definitely has the ability to start picking fiends off. There's not a Temple of the Damned over here. His Black Citadel tech has finished though, so that could be an issue. This is gonna be really difficult for him to stop. Militia won't cut this. I mean, there's no army. He's literally going to have to just sit there and banish bolts and hope that his buildings hold on long enough. If he's gonna fight this with militia, I don't understand why you would ever do that. It is a serious act of desperation here. If he can just maybe kill the Lich, then which he's never going to be able to do, because I mean maybe he could, kill the meat wagons by all means, slow the assault, but those guys, I mean, you still have these fiends right there. Banish Bolt will take them down in 1 shot. I guess that's a good strategy. If you can kill all the fiends, you can pick them off like that. But that Mountain King's taking so much damage right here. Arguably way too much damage. I mean, now that's crazy. The Lich did die as well. I mean, that's a lot of damage with this Banish Bolt. A lot of damage, actually, like a ridiculous amount of damage. But he's really low on life now. So if he's this low on life, it's gonna be really. I mean, he can heal up a little bit. He doesn't have a lot of mana on this guy, so he's gonna have to be able to survive another coil, potentially plus a little bit of focus. He can take down another fiend, but I mean, what's he gonna do? Oh, if he's not even paying attention. 6 HP! He gets death coiled, eats the death coil, but he is still alive. Still alive. There is another one on the way, however. He has slow, but so he could maybe see a Banish Bolt on the DK, but he can't really run the Mountain King in this way. If he could get invisibility, then, you know, he could do a Banish Bolt like that. That would work. But Destroyers are now out, and there's not really a lot of defense here, so those towers will actually die. 2 towers versus 3 destroyers, it's not really a competition at that point. Those things definitely going down. And Thu's even going to call good game. So there you go. That was really well executed by WFZ. Mountain King first, very much a strong build on that map. But if you don't get your tech up and the wagon push hits with that much strength, and then you just have to abandon your keep of all things, and you do it in such a way where you're having to town portal out like 5 peasants. That's bad. I mean, that is really, really bad. So that was game number 2. It's 1-1, and there's a third game, obviously, in that case. So we're going to pull that one up. This is on the stream, so we'll be taking a quick break, and we'll be all right back if you give me just a couple of moments to set everything up. So if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. We're going to break.